I'm going to mute everybody. Okay. Mute off. Good. All right. Good morning, everybody. This is day 2 of the best week ever. I want to welcome you all. I want to thank you all for getting on the call again. Remember, we are here as a team. We are here as Isonation. We are here part of the greater team that is Isagenix, my favorite thing that has ever happened to me in my life other than my wife and children. And that's honest. I know that for some of you that may be new, that might be saying kind of weird, but it's blessed us so much, and I'm so excited to work with you guys. Who, by the raise of hands, saw pictures of the groundbreaking yesterday of our home office here in Arizona? Amazing. Amazing. So Angelique and I had a chance to go by there. Let me tell you guys something. We talked to Chris Harder last night. We were at a leadership dinner, and I asked, what was your favorite part of the thing, of the whole experience? You know, and some people said the building. Some people said, you know, the video screen, the conference room. There's a motorcycle in there. There's actually a Harley-Davidson motorcycle that John Anderson, our formulator, gave to Jim Coover to kind of bribe him to come out of retirement to start Isagenix. All right? Jim Coover's like a big car collector, motorcycle, collector of things, and he was retired. And John Anderson has like all these Harley-Davidsons because he was this master formulator who was so successful, and he was retired. But he believed in Isagenix so much, and he believed in our formula so much that he was creating, and he believed in the Coover so much. And Jim and Kathy were retired. They really didn't have any interest. So he said, look, you could pick any Harley-Davidson I have, and it'll be yours. And that Harley-Davidson is now on display permanently in the office here in Arizona. But Chris Harder said, I said, what was your favorite thing about the entire building? And Chris Harder said, it just reinforced my belief that this is a legacy company. The size of the building, the scope of the building. I mean, we are here to stay for our children's children. So that was awesome. If you guys get a chance in the next year, your goal should be to come out here and visit and go there. That is your office. That's what Kathy Coover says. This is yours. It belongs to you guys. How cool is this? Who saw there are bricks with the associates' names? The pathway. So associates have a brick with their names. That's how dedicated you guys built the building. So that's super cool. The other thing is, who saw the Experience Isagenix video that Angelique and I did? So that is a video that you can use. It's 20 minutes long. It's fairly short. You guys are welcome to use that, and the rest of the company is going to be. And then the last thing is, so we went out to dinner last night, and today's going to be a lot about belief. Remember, I'm firing you up. I want you guys to leave each morning with intention and belief and inspiration. So we were at this leadership dinner last night with just our upline. And I don't know how many of you guys remember Hillary and Justin Courtney. So they are the upline of the upline. Like, they are above Chris and Lori. They are above Hayden and Emily. Like, they are the ones that started it all. Okay? And I got to tell you real quick the story. My very first, I was alone. Angelique didn't go because her father was sick. My very first celebration. And we went out. I was only in the company a couple months. And we went out to this dinner, and all these people were there. And I knew they were all successful. And the guy who sits next to me was like this plain kind of farmer looking guy. And I was like, wow, this guy must be new. Who is this guy? Right? And I asked Chris, I go, who's this guy? Is this guy new? Should he even be here? Because he was so unassuming. Right? And everybody else was like kind of, you know, Isagenix type, you know, very gregarious talking. And this guy was just quiet, kind of farm guy. So I asked Chris Harder, I go, who's the guy sitting next to me? Like, is he in the right room, in the right place? Chris goes, that's Justin Courtney. I go, yeah. He goes, like, he's the one responsible for everybody here being in the room, him and Hillary. So it opened my eyes, and Justin is one of these guys. I mean, they're from Missouri. I tried to look for the name of the city they're from in Missouri. It's like such a small dot in Missouri. I can't even find the name of the city. It's like population of like 10. So can you imagine, you have Justin and Hillary Courtney from population 10, Missouri, have built this legacy. They have, I think, 5 children, all ages, all I think under 10 or 12. They even adopted a teenage boy. But they've built this from their city. You know, and Justin, he was talking about his son goes to karate, because we were talking about my daughter going to Taekwondo. He goes, there's nothing around us. He goes, I have to drive 40 minutes to take my son to karate every day. And this is the same Hillary Courtney. Some of you were on a call, and she said, for 3 years, she drove every Monday night. She drove an hour to do a presentation every Monday night for 3 years to build her business. Now, Justin and Hillary Courtney make $1 million a year, right? Not total. I mean, you know, when people are Isagenix millionaires, that means they've made $1 million in their time in Isagenix. It could be from 10 years ago. But there are some people who are making $1 million a year, and those are Justin and Hillary Courtney. But when I say that, it's not for you guys to go, oh, wow, and think it's unreal. It's because their work ethic is amazing. And those of you guys who were at the last celebration, you might remember that Hillary made these. Okay, it's the quote. They're very spiritual. They're very into their faith. And it says, if you have the faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to the mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. That's Matthew 17:20. So Hillary and Justin, they had their team make 12,000 of these. Can you imagine? These are all mustard seeds. They had their team make 12,000 of these and hand it to everybody at celebration. How long would that take? I mean, talk about persistence. So I just want to give you their story this morning and tell you that anything can be done if you have that faith and if you have that work ethic. And we're so lucky to have Hillary and Justin as the people who set the example. Everybody last night at that dinner had the integrity that Angelique and I want to bring to you guys. So as we start this morning, I have this isn't coffee mug with Isagenix Ionics in it. I wanted to have a little discussion. So you're all on mute. There's a couple people I sent private messages to. And all I would like you to do one at a time when I call on you is simply read your message, okay? Read the message that I gave to you. We're going to read them all, and then we're going to go back over them. So Liz Merrick, if you could unmute yourself and just read yours.
The progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
Okay, success is the definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Okay, Michelle Rubin.
A majority of people, when asked why they work, will say, well, because everybody has to work, that's why.
Okay. Elizabeth?
People with goals succeed because they know where they are going.
Okay. Chuck?
The opposite of courage is not cowardice, it's conformity.
Okay. Gus?
Human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes and their minds.
Christine Pritchard?
A man is what he thinks about all day long.
And I think did I give one more out? Does anybody else have one that I gave one to? Yes. Kristen Flanagan. Unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. A man's life is what his thoughts make of it.
Awesome. Okay. I think that's nobody else. I think I covered everybody. Okay. So is there anyone there now? Now, guys, keep yourselves muted, but if you want to speak, obviously unmute yourself. So I'll call on you individually. Is there anything there the first time around, the first read, that resonated with anybody right off the bat? Or even if you guys that were reading your own that resonated with your message? Anybody? Anything?
Yeah, Dave?
Yeah. Christine.
I really liked what mine was this morning. It's kind of what I need, because a man is what he thinks about all day long. So, I mean, guard your focus with your life. If you're playing the squirrel game all day, looking here, looking there, you're really not going to get anything. But if you can, visualize growth in the team, visualize helping somebody else, adding value to their life, that's, that thought has to be everywhere you look all day long. You have to be consumed by that, and people will realize it. People will know that you're in it to help and to add value to their lives. That's a really good start for my day. Thanks. This is so important. This is the central message. And this is not, you'll see this in so many self-help books. You'll see this in Tony Robbins. You'll see this people over and over. You become what your thoughts are. What you put in your head. If you imagine failure, if you imagine negative returns, you're going to get them. But if you imagine success, and that's what you really believe in, and you really put that in your thought pattern, eventually it'll happen. So throughout history, guys, philosophers throughout history, and you're talking about
people who are either of faith or not of faith, the universe, whatever you want to call it. Philosophers have disagreed on many different things, but there's one thing that they have all agreed upon, and that is this simple principle, that you are what your thoughts make you. You become what your thoughts are. And this is something that's very hard to grasp. It's very hard to believe, but it works. And it's a matter of putting them in your mind. Now, some of the other ones, does anybody else have any other ones before I go back over them? Go ahead.
Mine was just what you guys were talking about. A man's life is what his thoughts make of it. And for me, that was the first thing that really hit home when I was doing the Healthy Mind and Body, was you focus on you find what you focus on. And so I've always been positive, but really trying to make that more consistent every day and applying that to this new lifestyle, which has been challenging, but rewarding.
Okay, so exactly, which has been challenging but rewarding. Remember yesterday I said that a lot of people, what they want is just instant gratification. We live in a society where we have remote controls, we have microwaves, now we have the internet, everything, Google. I mean, how many of us remember when we wanted to know something, we had to go get an encyclopedia and look it up? You know, I mean, now our children will have everything, information at their fingertips, but it's warped our minds because we are in instant gratification mode. If we have a goal and we don't get it, how many of you people have had somebody join really excited and 2 months later, like, nope, this isn't going to work, I'm out? What worthy cause have you ever done in your life where it was immediate gratification and you had success? I mean, we all know that anything worthwhile takes effort. That's why people, this is a great lesson. That's why people, when people say, well, I'm going to buy somebody their pack because they really need it. I'm going to get it for them. I'm going to gift it to them because I just know. You guys know, if somebody gives you something, do you value it? No. If you pay for something, you value it. So let's look at a program. If somebody says, hey, I have a free program for you, right? It's free. You don't have to pay anything for it. Okay, well, if I show up, I show up. You know, if I gift you your Isagenix pack, if I open it, if I take it, that's okay. It's free, so it doesn't have any value. But if I say I have a program for you and it's $5,000, you're going to say, well, that's a lot of money. But guess what? If you pay $5,000, guess who's going to show up every day at that program? Because why? Well, I paid for that. I got to be there. If you have this Isagenix and you paid for it, you're going to use it. So it all comes down to your mindset and your value as we move forward. One of my favorite ones that we read is when people ask why they had to work. They've done polls and polls, and people ask, why do you work? Well, it's because you're supposed to. That's what everybody else does. They're getting up and going to a job. And then what Chuck read is, the opposite of courage is not cowardice. Okay, the opposite, here's courage. The opposite is not being a coward. The opposite is conformity. Okay, conformity. That's what we talk about. We talk about what happens is, when I graduated college, all right, I remember coming home. Actually, my dad knocked on my door. Real funny story. My dad, I was at college, and I graduated in the summer up in Tallahassee, Florida. And it was December, and I was living with two other guys, and my dad knocks on my door. Well, I didn't know. We had a knock on the morning door on Sunday morning, and all of a sudden, I'm like, who's that? My roommates and I are arguing over who's going to answer the door because we're in college. It's 10 o'clock on a Sunday. Nobody's up. So I crack the door open, and it's my dad outside with my brother, and as I look beyond the door, there is a U-Haul there. And I'm like, what's going on? My dad's like, you graduated 4 months ago. You're coming home today. You're getting a job. So, I mean, this was crazy to think about it now that was me. But I went to a recruiter. So I went to a corporate recruiter, and they sent me on a job interview. And it was for selling pagers at this company called American Paging. And I took the job. Did I go to school for 4 years saying, man, when I get out, I'm going to sell pagers. I'm going to go to hospitals, and I'm going to go to businesses, and I'm going to sell beepers. That's what I wanted to go to school 4 years for. No, I took the job. Why? Because I needed money. Okay. And I hated the first 2 weeks. I said, this is not for me. I wasn't meant to sell pagers. But what happened? I started becoming friends with the people there at work. We started going out on the weekends. I made money. So I was comfortable. Guess what? 2.5 years later, I'm selling pagers. That was not my dream. I never wanted to be a pager salesman. I'm embarrassed to say it now. Many of you young guys are like, did they even have pagers? What is that? Okay. There's nothing exciting about someone saying, hey, nice to meet you. What do you do for a living? I sell pagers. Oh, awesome. I went to school for 4 years. I dreamt as a young boy growing up every day when I woke up that I'm going to go up and sell pagers. No, what happened is conformity. And we get stuck in these jobs. Now, I'm not saying that your job you don't love, okay? But what I'm saying is our dreams start somewhere, and then what happens is we conform. We get very comfortable. And then next thing you know, we turn around, and that job that we just took because we needed it, a decade has gone by. Maybe 2 decades have gone by. And there's a lot of people out there then that are saying, well, this is what I do now. It's too late for me to go back to school. I have a family. I have bills to pay. I can't start at zero. I can't go back to college. What are the other options? Network marketing. Network marketing and Isagenix, you don't need any type of special skill. You don't need any type of schooling. All you need to do is follow the systems that are already in place. Let's talk about this. What else? What else did you guys hear this morning that really resonated with you? Maybe it was the first one we read where Liz says the definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Now that's kind of wordy, but a worthy ideal. Talk to me about that. Delray, what's a worthy ideal? Call on you.
Ideal?
What's a worthy ideal? So the definition of success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Would you say getting people healthy and spreading, what's our mission in Isagenix? To free people of physical and financial pain and impact world health. Is that a worthy ideal?
Absolutely.
Tell us how you've touched people's lives in the short amount of time that you've been with Isagenix. What are some of the people, you don't have to get into details, but what are some of the stories and people that you've touched on a deeper level?
I see a lot of confidence. I love that. That's probably the number one joy that I get when I see a woman get her confidence back. Because I think that leads us in every area of our life. When I know I had one mom that told me she was really close to losing her home as a single mom, and she was able to leave her home with the income that she made.
Yeah, so a worthy ideal. She had a single mom that was in danger of losing her home. I told you guys yesterday, Tony Escobar was having his house foreclosed on and he had a car repossessed. So a worthy ideal to spread health. You know, so much of what we do here is we talk about the business because that's what we're in, but we're in the business of spreading health. So when people that aren't in Isagenix ever have anything to say about it, I said, if you guys can be with me at a convention, if you can be with me at an event and have people come up to you and cry, whether I signed them or they were from another team and say, you have no idea how this has changed my life. You know, my friend Damon and his wife are each going to be in the 100-pound club. So if you met them, you wouldn't know unless you saw a picture of them both heavier. So now they're doing the business. So you think that hasn't impacted Damon and his wife on a great, grander scale. When we talk about the keys to success and failure, you know, we said our goals, people with goals succeed because they know where they are going. So as I'm listening to this one podcast, the guy's talking about a ship. He goes, you have a ship and it has a crew. And the crew has an idea of where they're going and they have a map, right? And they're in the harbor. Now, 99 out of 100 times, that boat is going to reach its destination because it has a crew, it has a map, and it has a goal of where it's headed. Now you have another boat in the same harbor with no crew, and you simply turn the motor on and you push it out of the harbor. What chance does that boat have of reaching its destination? Absolutely zero chance. Okay, so think about that. By simply having a goal, by simply having a destination that you know you're supposed to reach, right there, you're set up for success. How many people, we can look at this on a grand scale. Someday I want to retire from my job, or someday I want to be an Isagenix millionaire, or we can look at it at a small scale. What is my goal today? When I wake up, if I don't know and I just start aimlessly punching away on keys and thinking, you know, my ship's going to take me to my destination, but I don't have a plan, I don't have a map, then how do you expect to get there at the end of the day and put your head down on the pillow and saying, I achieved my goal? You can't. How many of you guys
David?
Yes, go ahead, please.
related to that with success, it's like the compound effect. They're just taking consistent action daily. So if you have an idea or a goal, then you become successful by consistently taking action.
Yes.
So, like for anyone that hasn't read The Compound Effect, it was a big eye-opener for me because success doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the things you do every single day, your habits.
Exactly. So The Compound Effect, great book, talking about goals, getting there. Now remember, so when you read these books, and they always make so much sense. I mean, how many people physically highlight things in a book with like a highlighter? Okay, great thing. But what happens is you read the book and you pick up the next one. So if I asked you guys a book that you read at the beginning of this year to tell me specific things about it and goals, could you say, I don't know. I know it was about self-development. I know it was about achieving your goals. But if we don't read it and concentrate and put it into practice and go back and use those highlighted parts, then it never becomes part of our daily routine. So that's why I told myself at the beginning of the year, I'm going to have that one book. Now for me, it's called Relentless. And I might read the other one that Angelique talked about, which is Mastering the Mundane. So what was that one you gave her, Del Rey, about mastering the mundane? It was a book about mastering the mundane. I'll find it. But basically, what you do is you continue to reap the benefits because you continue to put those things into practice. So I went back and I told myself I committed to reading it 3 times. So Relentless is a book about that thick. And I highlighted the crap out of it, more than I've ever highlighted any book, because it spoke to me. I mean, I'm wearing, again, my number 13 this week is because I'm sending you guys the message that we make our own luck. Okay? You wake up with intention every day. You make your own luck. You have a roadmap. I want to know who else right now has a roadmap for today, but who else has a roadmap for this week? Somebody read me their goal. Okay, Tiffany Mason, and then we'll go to Kate. Go ahead, Tiffany.
All right. I basically kind of outlined my goals for my team as far as what I want to focus on every day, sharing with them. And for instance, I do a shout out to someone who has done a great job. Yesterday, it was a cleanser who lost 22 pounds. Today, I did a product spotlight on my eShot, which is sharing just why I like it. Wednesday is I'm doing my Wellness Wednesday, a virtual launch party with my husband, and I'll be sharing workout tips with my team. Thursday, I'm doing a healthy, happy coffee hour with another Isagenix friend that's on a different team. That's at 11. I have a Zoom call with my team and at night with the leaders. And I also will do a food prep check-in with my team to see how they're prepping for their week. And then on Friday, I do an encouragement to kind of get people through the weekend. And then on Saturday, I didn't have a focus for my Saturday. And then on Sunday, I will talk about our goals for next week as a team, and our focus is going to be on water.
So do you see, guys, why I have a little crush here on Tiffany lately? Because she's been so focused. Now, I realize some of you guys might be saying, I don't have the time to do some of those things. Tiffany is really grasping the business. She's going full bore. But what we're doing is we're as a team. So if you're sitting there saying, I don't have the time to do those things, well, as a team, we could divide up that time. There's plenty of resources. So if you are working a full-time job and you're still trying to make this business happen, you could say, well, on Wednesday, I'm directing people, everybody in my team, I'm sending them a message, telling them to get on Chris Harder's open business call. On Tuesday tonight, I'm telling everybody to get on David Angelique's Experience Isagenix call. So remember, everybody's going to help you do stuff for you. The thing I love about what Tiffany just said is it's touching all parts of what Isagenix is. She's helping people with their meal plan. She's helping people. She's congratulating people on their weight loss. Yesterday, I congratulated someone who is their very first time. They joined in December, and they signed 2 people yesterday. So they got the double PIB bonus. They became a consultant, and they cycled once. So I said, congratulations, you just made over $200 today for sharing the gift of health with somebody. So we just reach out. That took me 20 seconds to write that message. It took me maybe a minute to look her up in my back office. So that's what's happening. We're doing these things and we're building our business. So thank you so much, Tiffany. And
David,
Kate,
if I could add one more thing, I did kind of focus, I have leaders that have stepped forward within our team, and we kind of divided this up. So we did a sign up sheet because we are really focusing on the next 16 weeks in our ISA body, getting everyone on board. So every single day there is someone sharing one of these focuses within our team. So it's not just me. And they've all kind of signed up with what they like. And it's, some of them are associates, some of them are managers, some are pushing towards directors, but it's not just my effort in supporting these people within our group. So that does take a huge relief off of my shoulders, and it helps them become leaders too.
Great point. Great point. I'm so glad you added that, because that kind of validates everything I was just talking about. But we want to make sure that this opportunity and this is available for everybody. You know, and some of you guys are listening to Tiffany right now, inspired, saying, geez, I can do that. I can step up my game a little bit and have a plan for the week. You know, all those things she's doing are just the little things that make up a great week. And that's why, you know, Angelique and I are inspired. You know, last night we were sitting there and I'm looking at Angelique, and it's so funny because the girls sat at one end of the table and the guys said it was like elementary school, you know, we just divided and it was guys and girls. And I'm looking down at the end of the table and I'm looking at my watch and it's 10:30, it's 11, it's 11:30. And I'm like, you know, we got to go home because we have this Zoom call and I want to be fresh and I want to be on it. And Angelique's not feeling good. That's why she's not here today. She's under the weather a little bit, but you know, my goal was to be up and be on this call. It's a little thing. Did I want to sleep in this morning when that alarm went off and my eyes were tired? Did I say, yes, I wanted to stay in? But no, because I'm committed to you guys. I'm committed to making a difference. So it's the little things we do. Kate Pinner, did you want to add something? You had your hand up. If you unmute yourself. Unmute, Kate. Let's see if I can help you out. Okay, you're live. Kate, you're live. I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what happened to my screen, but I just wanted to say that I was thinking as you were talking about quotes that there's some kind of a quote about stepping out into your light. It's really your fear that holds you back the most, or you know, being in the light is what we're most afraid of, and that has been my Achilles heel. And so I just want to put myself out there, throw myself into something that I think works for me and share it, you know, stepping away from necessarily selling it. I'm sharing my passion for how I feel physically and allowing myself to stop holding myself back, right?
Yep. So I think what you're talking about, Marianne Williamson, our deepest fear is not that we are not inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Okay?
Yeah, she's kind of my front runner in my life, and I love her, but it's hard to live that, and I'm a self-sabotager. I just keep holding myself back. I have a marketing degree, but I'm not using it, or I have tried this, and I'm not trying it enough. I give up too quickly, like you were saying, you know, somebody after a couple of months or whatever, earlier in the conversation. So, you know, just like staying the course and seeing what happens for me is my commitment to my family.
Well, so many people, when I talk to you guys during the day, so many people said, I did this, I'm going to this event, I'm doing this. And I say, okay, now I asked them, what do you marry that with? What do you couple that with? And I wait for their answer. I don't give it to them. And they'll give me other things back. And I said, no, there's only one answer that you couple that with, and you couple it with action. So you can read all the books you want. You can go to all the seminars you want. You can talk to people. You can do all this stuff. But if you're not taking the action, then all those things are it's just an arsenal. It's like going out into the field. It's like going out into a battleground with all this armor and all these weapons, and then just sitting there and folding your legs and crossing your legs and sitting there in the middle of the battlefield. What good does it do if you're not going to use your armor? You're not going to make any headway. Okay? So, you know, David Wood says that quote all the time. I mean, we spent probably a good half hour talking about that quote, and I'll repeat it. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. So each one of you right now has the power to reach out and touch somebody. Each one of you has the power, that the light that you must go out and illuminate. Now, there are going to be people that are going to want to turn your light out. They're going to come up to you and want to blow out your candle and turn off your light. That's where you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I going to allow this to happen? Yeah, I told you yesterday, guys, on my call, it happened to me. I sent an email to this lady, and she was so rude, and I was just trying to be aggressive, you know, and she was so rude, and she said, stop emailing me. She's like, I already told you I didn't want to hear from you. Now, this has nothing to do with Isagenix. It was something else that I was trying to do. And man, I felt like somebody just punched me in the gut. And I said, but this person doesn't know me. They've never met me. All I was trying to do was be aggressive. I was kind. I wasn't like mean. I wasn't like obnoxious. I was just trying to be aggressive with this idea that I wanted to push forward. And it took me a couple minutes to shake it off. But an hour later, I was fine. I mean, not even an hour later. I mean, I shook it off and it's still in my head, but realistically, I didn't take it with me because I knew that my purpose was greater and that person had nothing to do with me, that I was attaching an emotion to what had happened. So in the respect for your time, we've been on a half hour. Is there anybody else that wants to say anything? Anybody else that has something to add or think about in terms of what we discussed this morning? Anything? Yes, Jim Pendleton, go ahead, unmute yourself.
Kind of a quick question to the group as far as these various events that I'm seeing everybody's kind of getting set up here the next few days with, are most people doing these things by Zoom call? Or I know a couple people like Angelique and some others have their own little Facebook videos they do. What exactly are most people doing, and what all are you going to include?
I think most people are doing, now I won't speak for everybody, you can raise your hand if you're doing something unique, but I think most people are going to try this Zoom. One of the biggest frustrations with people in Isagenix is it's very tough to get people out of their house nowadays. People will agree to something at the last minute and say, I can't make it. And that's normal. It's not because they don't want to be healthy. It's not because they don't want to join your team. It's just because they don't want to take the 15 minutes to leave their house in the morning or in the afternoon. So the Zoom makes it very easy for people to jump on, see your face. You can interact with people. You can have some emotion here, and you can talk to them from the comfort of their own home. Now, our event tonight, okay, that Angelique and I put in, we simply mirrored Ryan and Heidi and what they were doing. We took their same post. We put it on our picture. Okay, now you guys are welcome to send people to that. You're welcome to send people on that link. It'll be this same link. But what I ask you not to do is jump on yourself, because all it is the Experience Isagenix opportunity. You all have seen it. You're already on the product. So by taking up a space, you're eliminating somebody else that would have the opportunity to be there. Now, I just jumped it up to 100, but you guys have the opportunity. If you're not exactly 100% comfortable right now, meaning today, take the link, send it to your friend, go, would you hop on this tonight? It's only 20 minutes. I think you'll get a lot out of it. Okay, and then by the end of the week, though, I want you to do your other one. Remember, we all agreed that this week we would do at least one, if not two, virtual opportunity meetings. So this is our first one that Angelique and I are doing tonight. If you guys want to hop on, you can look and observe, okay?
And what time is that at?
This, I believe we said it was at 9 o'clock Eastern.
Okay.
Because we want to give everybody opportunity. So 9 o'clock will be 7 o'clock our time, 6 o'clock Pacific. So we want to allow everybody the opportunity to hop on. I will post it again in a group. And I said if it looks crowded and you see a lot of people and you're on and you've already on Isagenix, then just kind of hop off. But if you see plenty of room and we haven't reached our max, then you're welcome to stay on and just take a look. Okay? I want it to be a learning opportunity. It's not going to replace being in front of people live, but it's certainly a great way to grow your business from the comfort of your own home. And that's why we call this the golden age of network marketing, because of the tools that we have via social media, and we can reach out anybody. I could have people on from New Zealand tonight. I could have people on from Colombia, anywhere, because we have the power right here to reach out and touch them. So with respect for time, I'm going to let you guys go. Remember, best week ever. If you guys do something amazing, if you recognize somebody on your team, post it in our Isination Facebook page. And when I see it, I'm going to stamp that best week ever stamp on it. You want to get your best week ever stamp on your post. That's your goal. Have a great day. I love you guys.